I don't know how many of you have seen the video. It's Rayshard Brooks. Atlanta's burning. Let's check the video out. They like to compare it to George Floyd. Take a look at the video. You tell me if it's anything like that. Or any of these other cases they try to name off.
What?
I'm not sure. It was, like I said, it was her birthday and...
He had about 1.5 drinks, but you don't remember what kind of drinks they were?
No, sir.
All right.
I really don't, Mr. Ross.
All right. I think you've had too much to drink to be driving, so put your hands behind your back for me. Yeah, put your hands behind your back. Hey, stop! Stop fighting! Stop fighting! Stop fighting! You're gonna get tased! You're gonna get tased! You're gonna get tased! Stop! Come on, man. Stop! You're gonna get tased! Mr. Ross! Hey, hands off the taser! Stop fighting! Stop fighting! Hands off the taser! Stop fighting! Our 63.
All right, we're going to move a little bit ahead in the clip. I'll link this clip below in the description so you can watch the whole thing. It's about 6 minutes. It's here on YouTube. This is the aftermath where he gives his statement. You saw what happened there. Scuffle with the police. Guy got a taser. Was thrown down on some cops. Got away. Turned to shoot the taser at the cop. You can actually see it. Shoot by the taser prongs or what have you. Looked like, you couldn't tell if it hit the cop or not. But then the cop drew on him. 3 shots, laid him down. Called the ambulance right away. Tried to cuff him like his protocol. So let's see what happens here when they ask him about the statement.
Just give me the pure basics of how we're on it. I was called to do a DUI investigation. Okay, so there's only 3 officers on the outside? Yeah. To develop probable cause to arrest the suspect for DUI. He resisted arrest and he gained control of the other officer's taser. He started running. As I pursued him, he turned and started firing the taser at me. Okay.
You good, you all right?
Yeah. Still got the adrenaline pumping.
You all right?
I'm okay.
All right, good. All right, we're going to take care of you, brother. I'm just glad you all right. That's my biggest concern.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, good. You talk to your wife, you talk to your family, everybody?
No, I hadn't called anybody other than the IPPO.
Okay. All right, hopefully we'll get this cleared up. Anything you need from me?
Any update on Mr. Brooks?
Well, I ain't checked yet, so
Okay.
we'll get that squared away, all right?
All right.
But you're good.
You could see there in the video, a gentleman comes up, the bigger guy, maybe a supervisor or something like that. They get his story. Like I said, the bigger gentleman comes up at the end, asks him if he's good and everything like that. You see concern there from the officer for Mr. Brooks. Wanted an update on him and everything like that. They tell him he's good. I guess sometimes when they say you're good, you're not good when politics get involved. Check these out. Article here, Atlanta police chief who resigned after fatal shooting of Rayshard Brooks called for reforms amid George Floyd rallies. I guess they say here she was being hailed or given a lot of props just a couple weeks ago. Let's read a little bit of this. So she resigned. The officer was fired. Less than 2 weeks before Atlanta Police Chief Erica Shields resigned from her position on Saturday, after Rayshard Brooks was fatally shot by city law enforcement, she addressed police abuse and racism, yada, yada, yada. Many viewed her general response to Floyd's passing and the demonstrations that took place after as appropriate and positive. Skipped ahead a little bit in this article. This will also be archived. Same with the other one I'm going to show you here. It says, Shields stepped down from her role as police chief on Saturday after 27-year-old Brooks was shot and killed by an APD officer on Friday night. Demonstrations have taken place in Atlanta in the aftermath of his death, and some protesters appeared to, is that how we're framing it here? Appeared to? Some protesters appeared to set fire to the Wendy's restaurant where Brooks was shot. Atlanta police also fired the officer who shot Brooks, that's Garrett Rolfe, and placed another involved, Devin Brosnan, on administrative duty on Saturday. That is, obviously, that's the other guy, Devin there, the guy that was trailing the scene. I believe that's standard when there's a shooting. Don't quote me on that. I'm not law enforcement. I believe that is standard to put the officer, if they're involved in a shooting, on some kind of administrative duty. You have to know that with the way the Atlanta mayor has been out talking all that trash, she's been talking that when the police chief stepped down voluntarily, it was not so much voluntarily. I think we know that. And you would think that the officer would be getting some kind of due process here in terms of his career. So let's look at the last thing I'm going to show you, and that kind of leads me to this feeling about the Atlanta mayor and the police chief. All right, last part of it here. This is Atlanta Daily World. Again, it'll be archived in the description if you want to read the full thing here. Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms. I just can't hear that name without laughing. Announces the Reimagining Atlanta City Detention Center Task Force recommendations. I love how they always say reimagining. All right, we're skipping ahead a little bit. Again, read the archive if you want to check out the full thing. But she says here, more than a year ago, I signed legislation to begin reforming our approach to public safety through a collaborative process to close and reimagine ACDC as a resource for empowering our communities, said Mayor Bottoms. Mayor Bottoms, ooh, let's see that bottom. Thank you to the members of this task force for your tireless efforts to ensure that all those who call Atlanta home have not only a second chance, but a third, a fourth, a fifth, sixth, seventh, wait, no, she didn't say that. But for most, a first chance to have access to opportunity. Together we can build, all right, whatever, let's skip ahead. In support of community organizers' call for closure of the jail, as well as the declining number of daily inmates and increased operating costs, Mayor Bottoms signed legislation in May 2019 to create the task force to reimagine the use of the Atlanta City Detention Center, ACDC. Mayor Bottoms' proposed fiscal year budget. They talk about how they're drawing the budget down here. We'll skip the numbers. It looks like she's trying to eventually move this thing towards becoming closed. So, again, they want to equate every shooting that happens, if the individuals involved are a specific skin color, now to George Floyd. Well, I guess going forward, it'll be equated to the George Floyd situation, even though the situations are not even remotely close. So I was watching some local news on this, and they'd interview these individuals outside. I don't know where they were protesting. Maybe there were some of those individuals who were supposedly setting some fires at the Wendy's, but he would say, oh, well, I don't know why the police just can't use a taser. He's got a vest on and everything, and, if he gets hit, it's not going to hurt him. It's hard to get it into the mind of somebody who's ignorant and obviously biased that when you are in a profession as dangerous as the police are, and again, I've never been on a police force, so I'll leave it up to those individuals to speak as to how dangerous it is, but it's easy to armchair something after the fact or from the comfort of your own home. But when you're an individual who's out there as an officer and say that situation happened, they get your guy's taser, you're chasing him, he turns to fire this weapon at you. What are you supposed to do? Oh, hold on. Let me take it in the chest here. Let me make sure it hits my chest. It won't hurt. I've got a vest on. That's what the ignorant don't get, is that when you're a criminal, allegedly Mr. Brooks was going down that road, or, we saw the DUI and the assault of the officers resisting arrest. We still got to say allegedly because he hadn't had his day in court yet, but when you have an individual who puts up that much resistance to you, and you're in pursuit of him, what happens if you get hit with the taser? Where's he going to go? Is he just going to run off? That's what they had his wife. I don't know if they're together, separated, or whatever. They also had his wife on the news. Oh, he wasn't causing any trouble. He wasn't a danger to anybody. Why couldn't they just let him go? Saying all this stuff. It's like, well, why couldn't he have just taken the arrest? It's a DUI. Attorneys are out there. So many of them help to get these criminals off of DUI charges. What's the most he would have done? 30 days? Time served? I mean, come on, let's be realistic. We don't know if he had a previous record. Maybe that would have entered into his mind of like, hey, I got to get away. They've got warrants out. I don't know that. I'm just saying in terms of why somebody would think they have to get away. But if you get cuffed for a DUI, take the charge. Obviously, he didn't know that it was going to lead to him losing his life. But when you fight with police, that takes a special kind of stupid mindset. And that's what I always talk about. It's just inherent. This mentality is inherent. And I was talking about this with somebody who left some comments for me, several lately. So Strong and Grand, thank you for that. And great conversation we had on this, but it's this mentality. And this is what I've talked about as well. And we were kind of vibing on that same thing about mentality. It's like, why? Why fight? Take the stupid charge, do your stupid time, or get a lawyer, and maybe you beat the charge. But it's this mentality of always trying to fight the police. Why? So many times it ends up like this. And this guy had 4 kids. I don't know anything about his history. Maybe he was a great guy. Maybe he was a scumbag criminal like George Floyd. I don't know. But at that point, you can see it in the video, when they go to put the cuffs on him, that's when he tensed up. Why? Why can't he have just let it happen? Take the charge. And like I said, maybe you get a lawyer, maybe you beat it, maybe you do a little jail time, you get home to your family, you don't have your wife out here crying, your kids don't have a dad now. Why? Why do people keep putting themselves in these situations where cops have to kill them? And we're not talking about George Floyd. Totally different set of circumstances. Those officers are in the justice system already. We'll see how that plays out. But this one, you can't defend this. You can't compare this to George Floyd. You can't sit there and say, oh, why didn't the officer do that? If you were in that situation and somebody already whooped you and they're firing a taser at you, come on, what are you going to do? The mentality has to be broken. You have to stop creating this culture or this society where people think they can fight the police. And it's okay that they're going to get away with it. There's going to be no repercussions for their actions. Would have loved to seen him just take the cuffs, get arrested, get in the back of the car, and we'd be done with it. But now look at what happened. You've got a dead guy. You've got, 4 kids, a wife without their husband, without their father. The guy lost his job. The police chief has to quit. The mayor said she's been reassigned within the APD. And then, of course, you got the mayor out here talking more trash like she did. Just stoking the flames. Oh, it's definitely race-related, this and that. It doesn't help. These situations they're not even remotely close. So when you have a mayor out there doing this stuff, you can understand why people get all hyped up and burn the Wendy's down. And Wendy's has some decent food, too. All right, everybody. Am I wrong on this? Am I seeing this the wrong way? I just don't get the mentality. Let me know. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, and hopefully you had a good weekend.